Okay, wanted to talk a little bit about David Kenner today, and I figured it's only fitting to be here at the LA Law buildings for the series LA Law here in Century City. And David Kenner thinks of himself as a multi-dimensional chess player. And what do we mean by multiple dimension chess? Well, it's thinking on a high level. It's accomplishing killing two birds with one stone, and maximizing the impact of a single action. And so with the Tupac murder, and when we look at Kevin Hackey's witness statement, he says that David Kenner was the mastermind of Death Row Records. He was the smart guy behind orchestrating, first off, the ripoff of Harry O. Then it was the coup d'etat at the record label. He was the brains behind it. And why do we think that? Well, let's dig into what happened. Okay, we know from the confession letter and from the Chris Blatchford statement that David Kenner was involved in this plot, and he's a suspect in this. We know from the Kevin Hackey statement that David Kenner is the brains behind this. So let's just think about, and I hope this wind isn't too strong today. Obviously, you can see it's a little bit windy out. So we have George Kelesis and David Kenner have friction. Why would David Kenner and George Kelesis have friction? Well, what we've just learned from Reggie is that David Kenner was on his way out and George Kelesis was on his way in with Suge. Now, if David Kenner was going to be on his way out, isn't that motive to topple Death Row? Isn't that motive to kill Suge? And why would there be friction between David Kenner and George Kelesis at the Las Vegas Police Department? Well, who was it that disarmed the security? That was George Kelesis. So if this murder plot would have been exposed, George Kelesis would have been possibly charged as an accessory to the murder because he was the one that disarmed security that night. And I think if you're George Kelesis and you're an unwitting part of something, maybe you'd be a little bit pissed off about it. So I want to show you one other thing too. The Chris Blatchford statement and the confession letter talk about Malcolm Patton and Danny Patton and Little Half Dead being involved in the shooting, being in the Cadillac, firing on Suge and Tupac. And I just want to show you a little video clip and a picture of Malcolm Patton. And then I want to show you again and just remind you of Little Half Dead's album cover, so you can see that we are definitely getting closer and closer to the truth. More later.
you.